Scruffy Bat, Scruffy Bat, Scruffy Bat. So a guy takes his girlfriend to her first football game. They had great seats right behind their team's bench. After the game, he asked her how she liked the experience. "Oh, I really liked it," she replied, "especially the tight pants and all the big muscles. But I just couldn't understand why they were killing each other over 25 cents. Dumbfounded, her date asked, "What do you mean?" "Well, they flipped a coin, one team got it, and then for the rest of the game, all they kept screaming was, 'Get the quarterback, get the quarterback.' I'm like, hello, it's only 25 cents. What do you call a snowman on the 4th of July? A puddle. What's the difference between Donald Duck and George Washington? Donald Duck has a bill on his face, while Washington has his face on a bill. What did the American flag say to the other flag? Nothing. It just waved. Happy Independence Day, everyone! Is Google male or female? Obviously female, because it doesn't let you finish a sentence before making a suggestion. An organization is like a tree full of monkeys, all on different limbs at different levels. The monkeys on top look down and see a tree full of smiling faces. The monkeys on the bottom look up and see nothing but assholes. Two tall trees, a birch and a beech, are growing in the woods. A small tree begins to grow between them, and the beech says to the birch, "Is that a son of a beech or a son of a birch?" The birch says he cannot tell, but just then a woodpecker lands on the sapling. The birch says, "Woodpecker, you are a tree expert. Can you tell if that is a son of a beech or a son of a birch?" The woodpecker takes a taste of the small tree and replies, "It is neither a son of a beech nor a son of a birch. It is, however, the best piece of ash I have ever poked my pecker into." There was a papa mole, a mama mole, and a baby mole. They lived in a hole in the country near a farmhouse. Papa Mole poked his head out of the hole and said, I smell sausage." Mama Mole poked her head outside the hole and said, I smell pancakes." Baby Mole tried to stick his head outside but couldn't because of the two bigger moles. Baby Mole said, "The only thing I smell is molasses." A lady comes home from her doctor's appointment grinning from ear to ear. Her husband asks, "Why are you so happy?" The wife says, "The doctor told me that for a 45-year-old woman, I have the breasts of an 18-year-old. "Oh yeah?" quipped her husband. "What did he say about your 45-year-old ass?" She said, "Your name never came up in the conversation." A blind rabbit and a blind snake are walking through the woods and bump into each other. "What are you?" the rabbit asks. "I don't know," the snake said. "I'm blind and I never found out. What are you?" "I don't know. I'm blind too and I never found out what I am," the rabbit said. Then the rabbit added, "Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we feel each other and tell each other what we are?" "Great idea," the snake said. "I'll feel you first." The snake felt the rabbit and said, "Well, you're soft and furry and have long ears. You must be a rabbit." "Yes, that makes sense," the rabbit said. "Thanks. Now I'll feel you." The rabbit felt the snake and said, "Well, you're cold and slimy and have no ears at all. You must be a record company executive." One night my wife asked me, "How would you describe me?" I replied, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. My wife asks, "What does that mean?" So I tell her, adorable, beautiful, cute, delightful, elegant, fashionable, gorgeous, and hot. "Ah, thank you," says my wife. "But what about IJK?" I look at her and tell her, "I'm just kidding." A man went to see his doctor, and the doctor said, "I have some bad news and some worse news." The man asked for the bad news first, and the doctor replied, "You have only 24 hours to live." Gutted, the man said, "That's terrible. Wait a minute. What's the worst news?" The doctor responded, "I should have told you yesterday. Oops." A man was desperate for a job and finally found an unusual one at the zoo. The gorilla had passed away and they needed someone to dress up in a gorilla costume until they could get a new one. The man reluctantly agreed. The next day he put on the gorilla suit and went into the enclosure. At first he was nervous, but as the crowd started to gather, he got into it, beating his chest and swinging all around. One day, while swinging on a vine, he accidentally flew over the fence into the lion's enclosure. Terrified, he backed up against the wall as the lion slowly approached him. With the lion getting closer and closer, the man finally couldn't take it anymore and screamed, "Help! Help!" The lion suddenly stopped, leaned in close and whispered, "Shut up, you idiot. Do you want to get us both fired?" My boss was honest with me today. He pulled up to work with his sweet new car this morning, and I complimented him on it. He replied, "Well, if you work hard, set goals, stay determined, and put in long hours, I can get an even better one next year." What's the difference between bird flu and the swine flu? One requires treatment and the other an ointment. Two Texans walk into a steakhouse and sit down at the bar. While waiting for the beers they ordered, a woman at a nearby table starts coughing hysterically and puts her hands over her neck to show she is choking. Springing into action, one of the Texans runs over to the lady in distress. Grabbing the bottom of her dress, he lifts it up and takes a big lick across her butt. The lady's eyes widened, and in surprise goes, "Fuck to it!" And the piece of steak she was choking on flies out of her mouth. "You're welcome," says the Texan as he walks back over to the bar, where his buddy tells him, "Good work. It's funny how that Heimlich maneuver always works. I got the next one." A polar bear was driving along the road when his car broke down. He called the recovery service, who arrived within a short time. The mechanic said he would need about an hour to fix it. The polar bear walked to the nearest supermarket where he bought himself an ice cream. He ate it as he walked back to the car, but smeared some of it around his mouth. As he got back to the car, the mechanic looks up at the polar bear and says, "It looks like you've blown a seal." The polar bear looks embarrassed, wipes his mouth, and says, "No, I haven't. It's just ice cream." The graduate with a science degree asks, "Why does it work?" The graduate with an engineering degree asks, "How does it work?" The graduate with an accounting degree asks, "How much will it cost?" The graduate with an arts degree asks, "Do you want fries with that?" So there's this guy, and his best friend in the world is his pet duck. Takes it everywhere he goes. One day, he goes to the movie theater, and the lady selling tickets says, "Hard no, you're not taking that duck into my theater." So he goes around the corner and stuffs the duck down the front of his pants and sneaks into the movie. About 20 minutes into the movie, the duck starts getting restless and squirming around. So the guy unzips his pants so the duck can stick his head out and breathe. The lady sitting next to him elbows her husband and says, "Honey, the guy next to me just unzipped his pants." "Just ignore him, honey. But his thing is sticking out." Just ignore him, honey. Well, I would, but it's eating my popcorn. During my checkup, I asked the doctor, "Do you think I'll live a long and healthy life?" He replied, "I doubt it somehow. Mercury is in Uranus right now." I said, "I don't go in for any of that astrology nonsense." He replied, "Neither do I. My thermometer just broke." Oh no. So I told my wife the other day she should embrace her mistakes. Boy, was I surprised when she walked right up to me and gave me a hug. 4 men are in a hospital because their wives are having babies. A nurse goes up to the first guy and says, "Congratulations, you're a father of twins." The man says, "That's crazy because I work for the Minnesota Twins." The nurse says to the second guy, "Congratulations, you're a father of triplets." The man says, "That's also crazy. I work for the 3M company." The nurse tells the third guy, "Congratulations, you're the father of quadruplets." The man says, "That's also crazy. I work for the Four Seasons Hotel." The last man is freaking out and banging his head against the wall. The nurse asks him, "What's wrong? Trying to get a headache?" He replies, "No, I'm doomed. I work for 7-Up." A captain aboard a battleship spots a light in the distance in the battleship's path. Not wanting there to be a collision, he radios the source of the light. "Change your course 10 degrees south." The response is quick. "Change your course 10 degrees north." His pride slightly damaged, the captain responds testily, "I am an admiral, first class. Change your course 10 degrees south." The response comes, "I am a lieutenant, second class. Change your course 10 degrees north." Now losing his patience, the admiral angrily radios, "Change your course 10 degrees south. I'm in a battleship." The lieutenant answers, "Change your course 10 degrees north, sir. I'm in a lighthouse." Did you hear about the guy who got hit in the head with a can of soda? Man, he was lucky. It was just a soft drink. What did the grape say when it got stepped on? Nothing. It just let out a little whine. But so a man walks into a hardware store and says, "One mousetrap, please, and hurry. I have a bus to catch." "Sorry," says the salesman. "Our traps are not that big." Ha 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 ha. Bye-bye. Scruffy Bat is over. See you next time. Please like and subscribe for more episodes.